Oh, she's like... You guys will not believe what happened to me last episode, after the last episode basically. So my computer turned off to sleep and then never came back on. And it took me so long to try different things. And what ended up being the problem was that the base in the motherboard where the CPU goes was fried. Now the motherboard would indicate that the CPU was fried or had an error through its LEDs, but it turned out that the motherboard was the problem all along, so I had to straight swap it with the same one. But even then, the system would give me a few problems, so I had to format and put everything back in, which was a pain. But in doing so, I also upgraded the CPU itself to Ryzen 12 core, so that will help a bit with these episodes and rendering out the projects, which I'm excited about. Today, we guys gonna react to the second cinematic from Final Fantasy 14 series, Stormblood. After you guys' recommendations, you quite enjoyed the first episode with the Flames of Truth, which I loved. The cinematic was so awesome. So we're gonna do another one and then probably bounce up to something else and then come back to it. Today's episode is brought to you guys by the Ritz wallet. Now, if you love minimalism as well as that really cool industrial look, then the Ritz wallet is for you. It comes in a ton of colors, my two favorites being the burnt titanium as well as the forged carbon. It holds up to 12 cards plus room for cash. It comes with lifetime warranty, which is sick. And if you use my code /link in the description, you're gonna get 10% off as well as free worldwide shipping and free return. So if you want to grab one for yourself or make a cool gift to one of your friends, then check the Ritz wallet out, guys. It's pretty cool. Join the Ritz wallet club. They're pretty sick. And with that said, let's fire up YouTube and check out the Final Fantasy cinematic. So full screen in 1, 2, 3, go. I miss saying it. May contain content inappropriate. Wow. What is that? Oh, Square Enix. That's cool, man. Oh, that is sick though. Ooh, hello. And of course you're cute. Final Fantasy. Here we go. Big sword. Holy cow, man. Oh! Oh, she's like... That was sick. Don't worry, it's not a T-Rex, guys. Chocobo? Oh my god. The shockwave, man. Sick. Here we go. What is this? Oh, it's like the game map. That's pretty cool. And massive. It's like mini Tokyo. Damn man, this game is huge, isn't it? Oh, here we go. Yasuo. Sorry. I'll be funny. Oh, is it the main guy? It looks like the main guy to me. Ooh. Ghost of Tsushima? Is he gonna split it? Come on! Stormblood, Final Fantasy 14. How sick, man. 2017. Like this video as well, guys. And that was really cool. It didn't have the emotional kind of like impact that the first cinematic had, but I must say, in terms of the fight scene between those two, as well as the last move, those were some really epic stuff. The cool thing is, this really reminds me, like, when it comes to complete kind of like animation style, even though they're going for realism with the CGI, they can really take advantage of the fact that everything is animated and they have full control over every single motion between the camera and what happens in front of it. And they had some really anime style going fight moves in the way they flip the camera around. Now, I know that the same team that worked on 14 is making 16, which I'm really excited about. As you guys know, probably, Final Fantasy is like my favorite game franchise, so I can't wait. And of course, FF7 Part 2. Some news, please. Come on. So, with that said, guys, let's jump right back to it and go through some cool scenes, discuss some filmmaking stuff. You know the drill. So, full screen, 1, 2, 3, go again. So we have the, things that... So, we have a cool, basically, drum beat and the image kind of like straight goes in, but we have some very cool folk going on. And we have a very fluid camera motion while the music starts, and it's just gonna take us through basically our environment and introduce us to it, which is really sick. And man, the art style in those games is just impeccable. So it goes through. It's interesting because when I was watching this, I knew, from like how the camera progresses, that it will go up eventually, as I think most of the audience does, but it was going way too close and I was like, why is it going this close? But that's how they choose to kind of like show like Square Enix, right? Square Enix, yep. Which is, I always like when they do the extra mile and like they kind of like try to incorporate their logo or a studio within the scene itself, like they do here, versus just dropping a title on screen, which also works, but I don't know, something about that, it just made me chuckle. So, we fly up, again, gorgeous, and the amount of detail, man, from the rainbow to the birds. So now, the camera slows down a bit to emphasize the subject, which is that character, and then reveal the second one right here. So now we have the two characters. He's training, really badassery. Do you guys know any like martial arts? I always wanted to learn one, man, but I never came about doing it. Interesting. I really like that motion of the camera. They start up really high and they go all the way down to her level. And now we can really clearly see her face, and she's the center of her frame. Really cool. Yeah, I know, you're cute. And now we have the close-up of our second character, or the first one that was revealed, and he's like kind of like meditating. And we have a very cool central shot and going up from like low up to his mid, where he's gonna probably open his eyes or not. Okay, I need to talk about this, man, because it's so sick. I love the concentration in the guy's kind of like, he's not even like flinching. So the thing that I want to talk about here is the thing that I started saying before, which is because this is fully animated, and they use some motion capture for animation of the characters, of course, but what they did with that data is there's no stealing, basically. So this really reminds me kind of like what anime have been doing for a while when it comes to their fight scenes, which really uses the camera and their impacts in such a way that it's almost impossible to do with real cameras and actors, no matter how many ropes you put in them, on them. And here, just this impact to me is just like so well made, man. Like, they have the perfect slow motion just for a few seconds, and then it goes back out. And now the music starts. So before it was only the impacts, and it's just impeccable, which is really interesting because in fight scenes you need to have beats to them. You cannot just go slashing all the time. You need to have super cool moves, have a beat to take a breath, and then move on from there. So this would be a breath, kind of like the first impact happened, the first fight moves, they're gonna kind of like size up each other and then go at it again. But again, I want you guys to focus on the camera and how they move it and how they cut on impact, and then the next impact happens so swiftly with a camera move, and then they do the same thing again, because I think it's really well made and something that you don't see as often because it's animated. That. Jesus, man. That is another beat, another breath for the audience to take in the scene. That's how you make really cool fight scenes. I think it's one of the big reasons is choreographing the fight and putting breathing moments in between. I mean, what we just saw was like an impeccable fight sequence, and now we need the breath to be like, oh my god, you know? And now we're ready for the next one. I love this. I love how she will teleport through speed. We need to see this again, man. That's... It happens so... I need to see this in frame by frame. So, we have the character. Motion blur increases. And here we have a shockwave. Kind of like a dust wave. Almost like what airplanes do. Like fighter jets. And then we have a single frame of that impact, and then another frame is almost through the camera in an instant, and we have distortion happening. Then we have just the red, which was the color of her shirt. This is so interesting, guys. And then she's gone. And we have a very big camera shake, and the rest of the shockwaves happening. And that's it. That was sick, man. And right after that, after we have a few frames of just the emptiness of where she stood... Wait, oh no, I'm going front. Idiot. Here. So we can see that she's not there anymore, and now we have the impact, and we have a really big camera shake on the impact. This is used, guys, to really amplify a hit. If the camera starts static, and I learned this the hard way through my God of War short film, every hit had no camera shake, and you could really tell that it was robbing the audience from like that kind of like Versus here, almost every impact, or at least the really big ones, have a massive camera shake. If you go frame by frame, you can see how much motion blur and how much camera shake occurs that moment, and how cool they zoom in and out. So we start zoomed in from the hit, and then the camera zooms out, which you can do this if you shoot in 4K or even 6K. You can start tighter and then zoom out and have the same effect. That's why I love this series so much. When we break this down, it has so much information and ideas which can actually be used in projects, which is sick, man. Sick. So he caught it, another breath, he's gonna, now it's his turn. She blocks it as well. This really helps us kind of like get that sensation of like equality between the two. Oh no! What did I do? Page down? That is really funny, I think. Chocobo's just chilling. I really like this effect as well. How you have this pulsating effect happening. So they have a hit, and we should be able to see, yeah. So it's not there. That's the first one. You can see the ripple occurring somewhere here, and the ripple goes out and it distorts. So it's really interesting because as we zoom out, I want to see if they also have dust waves happening. So we zoom out really fast. There was another one right there. So the way you do this within After Effects, it would be to use kind of like distortion maps and make masks that are forming a circle. So we have one mask here, the second one mask here, and you would put the in between where the effect would take place, and you would animate those masks to open up and go outwards basically, and that way that distortion will only affect that ring of masks, and as it goes out and you feather it out, it would blend back to the original, and that kind of motion creates this effect. Now we really zoom out again, which I really love, that it's almost the opposite move from the beginning. So we started low and we went like this, and now the end goes off and reveals kind of like the overland. Oh, sick, man. Again, that thing that I told you guys about, there's a hit, swift, hit, swift. And now they get all like, you know, over 9,000 on us. That was really sick, man. So now the transition to kind of like the overmap of the game, I'm guessing. The ones you guys have played probably got a lot more information on this. I'm not gonna judge this because this is a video game trailer, so this makes sense for it to be in it, because at first I thought that was the end. Basically, they go through the world, through the various locations and cities. We have this cool thing, and now we go to the end. That's sick. So we found this guy, which I think is the main character, or at least the main protagonist of the game, and he really reminds me of Yasuo style, I must say. Really the same style, that really quick shift camera move and really big impacts. Again, the dramatic character stare, which makes us know who he is, and two, some pretty cool things are gonna go down. So weapons, katanas, all things out. I really like this. So we have a slow motion. Again, they did the same. So they start from the eyes of the guy about to shoot, and they zoom out to the gun being fired out, and then transition into the bullet itself in slow motion. How freaking cool is that? It's so quick, but so effective, and so stylistically awesome and sick. Well done, Square. Again, we zoom out to see this city and some other characters on top of it, gazing at the sunset. Rule of thirds: the sun, the characters, horizon. Really cool. Man, that was so sick though. Getting so pumped with these things. So, really awesome cinematic, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you would like to react to next. I know there's 1 or 2 more cinematics in the Final Fantasy XIV expansion kind of like cinematic series, which I'm pretty pumped to see. We have some Apex Legends, we have some League of Legends, we have some all the stuff. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys on next one. Hopefully with the PC not frying itself.